Hey guys, it's Matt again here at Indelac Controls, and on this video training series we're going to be taking one of our M-Series actuators. It's 115 volts AC, and we're going to be installing a brake on it. Now this install is also good for the SD, SDX, and the entire M-Series, MH, MS, ML, and MR. Only on the 115 volt AC. Alright, if you guys are ready to get started, first thing that you want to do here is to terminate the power supply. Now notice I don't have my power supply even connected, but in the field you're going to have to disconnect that power supply. Now that you've terminated your power supply on the M-Series, you need to remove the cover for step 2. Now to remove a cover on any actuator that comes standard with the manual override, you're going to need a 9/64 hex screw, and also for this one you're going to need the 7/16 wrench, and that's for the cover screws. Alright, if you guys come in here a little bit closer, I'll show you how it's done. Alright, now you take your 9/64 hex drive right in here, the top of the handle, and once it's loose you can just go ahead and finish it with your hand there. Remove that screw and washer and just set it off to the side. You'll need that for when you put the cover back on. Gently slide the handle off, set that to the side as well. And I've removed all of the cover screws except for one. Save a little bit of time, and here you're going to just remove that. And this is a 7/16. Loose, you can just finish off with your fingers. Keep all these together and off to the side. One thing that I like to do once I remove my cover is to set it upside down and just set everything that I'm going to need to put my cover back on inside of the cover itself. Now these are a little bit difficult to get off. Just got to give them a nice pull, and it'll pop off. There's a gasket right here that gets kind of caught up in there. Just set your cover off to the side. Take very careful precautions against scratching this NEMA 7 surface here on this particular actuator. You can always jeopardize the enclosure with scratches on the surface there. Alright. For step 3, you'll need a T15 star drive. You're going to be removing the screws from the top of the motor. I've loosened them here just for time purposes. Okay? Just slide those screws right out. Leave the cover of the motor on the top though. And just set those off to the side. You won't be needing those anymore. Alright, in step 4, you're going to be mounting the brake bracket and the brake, which is already connected, we do that for you in the kit, to the top of the motor. You're going to need the 4 Phillips head screws that came with the kit, along with the brake and mount, and probably a Phillips head screwdriver. In this case, I'm going to be using a drill. Okay, when you place the brake and mount on top, you want the wires to be coming out at about a, well, it looks like about a 45-degree angle on the opposite side as your terminal, because these wires, well, at least the black is going to have to come up and under and through, under the capacitor there. So now you take your 4 Phillips head screws that were provided, you put them down in the same screw holes that you removed screws from before. Alright, now you're good and snug. In step 5, you're going to need your pliers, needle nose, and you're going to remove these wire caps from your capacitor. Alright. Here in step 6, you're going to be taking the motor wires, focus right now is on the black, and you're going to slide it down and underneath your capacitor and out to the other side, because it's going to be paired up with this red wire here in a moment. And just to keep this nice and clean, take this and slide it underneath this bracket here till it almost disappears there. In step 7, after you've got this wire pulled through, going to cut this off, which I move that for speed, but this side you can still see. I'm going to cut off that cap there. Alright, I'm going to cut the white wire to match the brown wire, and the black wire to match the red wire. Then I'm going to take my stripper myself a little bit of wire to work with here. Get a cleaner strip than that. There we are. Take my other stripper here just because it's a little bit easier to use. Go ahead and strip these wires just a bit. A little bit more on the brown one. Okay, so now you've taken your black wire to your red wire and matched them, and your white to your brown, and you've matched them. Alright, guys, you're ready for step 8 now. I'm going to take the female cap adapters, slide it down and over both the red and the black. Then you're going to take a second one and slide it down over the white and brown here. Once they're in there nice and firm, take your crimpers, crimp those wires in there. Once you've done that, you just put them right back on top of your capacitor. After you've put your caps back onto your capacitor here and here, now what you want to do is take your brake hub, machine in down, that's this square machined end. It's going to need to slide down all the way, and you want to kind of move this around in here until you know it's going to be a perfect fit. And then you slide your brake hub right down and in. See, I didn't get a perfect fit there. I need to keep moving this around until that machined end is going to sink all the way in a little bit more to this side. And to this side. And just play with it until you get a nice lock on it, and then bring it up slightly. Just slightly. Take your Allen wrench And tighten that set screw. Alright, now the brake cup is installed. Step 10, you take your wire ties here and just group the existing wires in with the brake wires. Doesn't have to be too tight, just holding them together, keep it nice and clean in there. On this side you've got a couple more wires to encompass, but same idea. I'll send it through this way. Make sure that's not going to impede that seal. Take your cutters. Just trim them off flush. Alright guys, we're just about to the end of our brake install for the 115 volt AC M series, which is applicable for the MH, MR, MS, and ML, as well as the 115 volt SD and SDX models. Alright. What you want to do before you put your cover back on is you want to go ahead and hook this up to a power supply again, run it open, run it closed, make sure everything is working properly before you put this cover back on, and then you ought to be good to go. Guys, thanks for joining me again. This is Matt with Indelac Controls.